Hopefully we're back up. It looks like old man Greg doesn't have much internet, so we're going to see exactly how much I can squeeze out as I have sent the call to around my house, turn off your devices. I need every inch of bandwidth that we have to kill people. No, to make this work. So hopefully we're back. If somebody, I'm not running any additional windows that might draw, so I'll rely on my cast to tell me that we're up and cooking. If we're up and cooking, if we're good to go, I'm going to go ahead and go. And we're back. Okay, good. Thanks, Prax.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we go on, I was just about ready to describe what the crit will do that Mimi performed as first aid on the mystery woman that has arrived. Mimi, as you get there, you're able to secure the pressure, place it where it would be required to prevent the further flow of additional blood. You know, you're applying the appropriate pressure. But as you sit there, you realize that whatever has occurred with the initial strike, there is additional damage being done. It seems it's cumulative. Even with the removal of this edged weapon or blade, it seems that whatever had been done, almost like a poison effect, as it had been given, the woman sitting there, she's still alive, but this wound is getting worse.
Yeah, she's just holding her and is just kind of looking back at the others who are up here and trying, just yelling back for them to get down.
You can roll let's do a spot hidden. This is going to need to be an extreme success. Maybe a hard success. We'll see. Depending upon what you get, I can give you partial information for a hard success.
I'll just crit it.
Okay. Yay, burn through those.
Yeah, I know.
When you have the woman in your arms kind of cradling her as she's kneeling, her weight dropped against you. And as you kind of look down over by both where the wound is and you look up into her eyes, you realize that you've seen these eyes before. And just the eyes you recognize as the eyes of the little girl that you saw floating inside the blob of the Stitched Together that you fought in 1933. And as the eyes of Ruby Foster look back into yours, she sits there and you can start to see them dim as the light begins to go from them.
I can't save everyone.
She reaches up and you see again the blood that's over her white teeth, and she reaches up and you feel her touch the side of your cheek and you feel nothing but love from her. Barney, what would you like to do? That's enough for the exchange. As that goes down, you see the boy begin to advance towards the kind of prone Aphrodite and this woman.
Barney's trying to hear Aphrodite, trying to figure out what they're saying, but he can't. And he kind of looks aside to Joe. He says, Joe, he's got some sort of protection. He's got magic of some sort of technology, something. Maybe we can knock him off the train if we hit him at the same time in the same spot. Barney will kind of start to level his rifle. He'll say, we hit him on his left side, knock him right off the train.
Left side, his left, our left.
Well, it's just the one that's closest to Mimi.
His right, our left. And he fires.
Barney will fire too. Let's see.
Joe's going to spend 2 points of luck.
And Barney will spend 13 points of luck.
Okay, so as you hit you hit him, I am going to have him make a. Here's what we're gonna do. Based on the shots that you two fired at him, damage is average enough that what we'll do is we're gonna kind of average where you placed it. So between an 80 and a 62, I'll round it down and we'll make it an even 70. As if he can beat a 70 with a strength check, that will, like the force of your blast and the force of him, this is not a dex check, he's fighting against falling. So we'll have him make this, which he does not. As you see Simon stumble and he slips at the last second, and you see him kind of begin to fall off the side of the Orient Express. And you see Aphrodite, Ruby Foster's eyes go over, and she's looking towards where the boy is sliding off of the train. And her eyes go back to you, and she says, "You gotta save him."
Oh my God. Okay. Fuck. Yep.
Well, before that, though, we're going to have Pete. Pete, you pull your head up on the ladder as the wind catches your hair as you're looking around, and you see Joe and Barney firing and shooting the same child that you shot at last episode and got a ton of shit for it. But it turns out you were right, as you get up and you see the boy get hit twice, and he lands and he starts sliding.
How far is he? Like, was he coming back towards where I would be popped up?
Yeah, you see his face. Like you saw him. He got hit on. Yeah, he got hit on his right, their left, and as he got hit and spun, you see him kind of hit the ground and slides on the collecting snow and ice and just the slick nature of the roof as he's kind of scrambling for purchase, looking very much like a 9, 10, or 11-year-old child in this kind of feeble scramble to find a handhold.
I will reach out a hand in an attempt to gather another voter, I guess, if I can grab this kid and pull him in, I suppose.
Okay, I'd like you to roll a luck check here, as you're not only going to have to grab him, Pete, you're going to have to get up onto the roof of the train. You're going to have to run and basically slide yourself to grab this kid before they go off.
Yeah, this will be okay.
Okay, let's roll that luck.
Oh.
There we go. So as both Joe and Barney blast into this kid, you see over top of you, springing on crispy legs, as Honest Pete Abraham clears the two of you as you're kind of down, taking your shots. He clears you, hits the ground and slides like Pete Rose, and at the last second, instead of tagging into third or home plate, he sweeps his right hand and grabs the wrist of Simon Meadham as the boy goes completely off the side of the train, and you just see like a forearm being held up. As Pete, you begin to spin a little bit too, and despite the small frame of the child, it is enough weight to kind of stop your own momentum, swing you around, and start you sliding towards the edge. You're pretty sure you can stop yourself, but I'm going to need a strength check as we leave it up to the dice.
We'll go ahead and crit that one.
Okay. So, Pete, that leaves you with one crit, as I will begin to take these off of everybody. Let me see. Let me work backwards through here. That's one away for Mimi. There's one away. So everybody's where they need to be. And as we are As we're there, you stop yourself and you're able to kind of put your hand down and you catch in a rut of the roof of the train. And you're able to kind of catch there's like a windshield type of aerodynamic feature of the kind of architectural design of the top of the Orient. You grab hold of it. It bends a bit underneath your incredibly aggressive grip. And you have a hold of the boy, have a hold of yourself as the Orient rumbles forward. Aphrodite, now it's your turn.
She sees Pete kind of slide in and save this kid. And she carefully lets go of Ruby and quickly makes her way to the other side of the train to help Pete pull him up.
Okay, so you make your way over there, and as Pete's still kind of lying on his stomach, you're able to reach down as Simon is starting to like realize what's happened, where he is, the situation that he was in, and the boy's kind of kicking now, trying to kind of get his own purchase free of the grip of Pete Abraham when you look down. And how do you grab him?
I just grab him like right by the shirt collar and yank him up.
Okay, so you grab him, and do you like hold on to him and lift him like a puppy or a kitten, or do you kind of just grab him and throw him back on the roof of the train?
Yeah, I grab him and throw him.
Okay, so he's deposited onto the roof of the train. As he stops and slides and looks around, Barney, you and Joe would recognize that your shots seem to have had an impact on the clothing that he was wearing, but whatever should have been done by the result of 2 firearm shots, it's just left like a black scorch mark on the kind of the white skin beneath both of the blast marks from the firearms. As he's standing there, he does seem, however, though, to kind of favor the spot where your rifle shot, as it is a much heavier gauge. It seems that despite his ability to survive it, it's not something that happens without some type of painful ramification. And as he's sitting there, he kind of looks up at everyone and begins to slink towards the front of the train. We are currently out of combat as Simon Meadham is retreating, but movement is still turn-based. Aphrodite, you have done your duty. Barney and Joe, you are up.
What the hell is going on? And he'll call out to Aphrodite and sort of like very carefully start crawling along the top of this moving train, not wanting to slip. Mimi, what's happening? Who's that kid? Who's the woman?
As you're climbing forward, kind of low crawling forward, maybe, hearkening back to your days of basic training where it wasn't necessarily something that, a naval man wouldn't have a lot of this application, but the basic training process is as old as time, So as you're kind of doing that low crawl, moving your elbows, and you make that call out, you see a hand reach out and grab your elbow as it goes by. And you see the woman look down. She's got, again, her white teeth are stained with blood as her eyes meet yours.
His movement stops and he's slinging the rifle back around his shoulder at this point, and he sees her bleeding there, and he'll sort of instinctively sort of grab her forearm and put a hand underneath her head. Who are you?
She starts to kind of, you feel more and more of her weight distributed into your arms as she seems to not have the ability to keep herself seated or upright anymore. As she's starting to kind of fall back into it, your embrace, you see that she kind of moves a bit and rolls into your chest. And as she rolls into your chest, she looks up, and you now know that this is a very one of advanced age for 1915. Mid 70s would be your guess. And as she looks up, much like with Aphrodite, her hand travels and touches like the stubble and the mustache of your face. And roll a listen check for me.
I'm critting it.
You hear words come from between these lips, and they are caught on the wind that is rushing past the Orient, but somehow it finds your ears. And you can tell that her eyes are looking past you. They see you, but they see someone else as well. Daddy? Daddy, I'm coming.
There's a moment where he's confused by this. And can I roll a psychology or a power check, something that might give me an idea, in this moment might give Barney an idea of what's happening?
Yes.
Do power.
You believe that this woman is passing and that she believes you are her father with all of her heart.
I think the sympathy, the humanitarian in Barney, in this moment, maybe not realizing the truth, would still just sort of cradle her. And he can't hear the wind anymore. He's very focused directly on her. And he'll say, "That's right. Yeah, it's me. I'm here. I've got you. It's going to be okay."
She's breathing. It's coming in gasps. I fixed Mom's glove. Barney, it's at this moment that you look down and you see that she's wearing a glove that looks eerily similar to May's.
He's stunned. Where did you get that?
I found it when I found you all. Daddy?
Yes, girl.
I put the hole in the boat. It wasn't the woodpecker, it was me. I put the hole in the boat. Up at the lake.
Well, hey, well, that's okay. Things happen. Accidents.
You see her move a bit, and her eyes refocus. Mr. Pete, where's Mr. Pete?
Pete Abraham, he's looks around and sees Pete. He's right there.
Good. Good. I'm tired.
Well, hey, let's Let's get you into the warm, out of this cold.
I think I'm gonna go fishing, I think. Down by the lake.
He's seen people die before of combat wounds. He knows at this point. He has, his gut tells him he can't move her. This is just a matter of moments. He leans forward to this old woman, and he feels this connection and plants a kiss on her forehead. And he'll whisper into her ear, "Yeah, you go fishing. I'll come join you. We'll catch a big one."
You're already there, Daddy. Thank you for waiting.
Always.
You feel her go limp in your arms. And when you look at the hand that she was holding, your lighter is in it.
Huh. He'll slide the lighter slowly out of her hand, not knowing what to make of anything, but feeling what it is in his chest. He's still holding her, but his gaze will raise up, and it burns on Simon Meadham.
He's retreating towards the front of the train.
I'm not letting him get away.
What would you like to do?
Is he moving slowly? I feel like I catch up to him pretty quickly.
He seems like he's moving tentatively. He wants to move on a moving train backwards while watching you. You feel that if there was an aggressive move made, he's definitely going to speed up.
She starts walking toward him, not with the same aggression as before. I can't let you go, but I won't kill you.
You heard the old woman. You can't have me. But he seems scared.
Do you have family on the train?
Roll a psychology check for me.
I'll crit it.
He's terrified. He does have family on the train. You believe he's trying to get to them. You also sense something else. Whatever was prompting his actions and his voice before, with this crit, he sounds different. He sounds less self-assured.
If you come with me, I will take you back to your family.
And you stay away from me. All of you. He's continuing to retreat.
Yeah, she's still following after him.
Get back. I warn you.
I'm not going to hurt you.
Let's make it interesting. Yeah. We need to enter into a power check now, Aphrodite, as his eyes begin to glow with the same glow that his mouth had a moment ago. And as it locks in with you, you begin to feel your consciousness burn as you see that not the presence that he had before, but definitely this power that was exuding from him before seems to have reared its head as he engages you with a glance. I even rolled first.
Okay. Shut up.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is getting neat. So because of this particular thing, when it's this close, it's considered a push. So which is exactly what it sounds like, as I need you to make a dex check, and I never foresaw this happening on top of a train. So yep. Let me take these. Let me see. Where are my notes here? Here they. Okay, let's do this.
Okay, here I go.
Oh my God!
What is happening in this train right now?
We rolled the exact same goddamn thing. What? Okay. I'm officially creeped out. I am like super duper creeped out.
The dice are telling a story, Greg.
Shut up, Kiana. Okay. All right. Okay. Wow, Johnny Ringo, you look like someone just walked over your grave. Okay. All right. So what ends up happening here is you blast directly backwards, as if you had just been struck by a board or a wave. He blasts in the opposite direction away from you, each of you traveling, you back towards your companions, he towards the front of the train. You all see him slide and slip between the two cars, the next one and the one that you're currently on. And there is a thud as it seems that Simon Meadham is for at least the next couple minutes alive. And alrighty, you come flying back and you kind of come to a sliding stop beside Barney and Pete as you're all standing there. You are now reconvened. We will jump out of combat again. What do we do?
We can't kill him. Not yet. But I don't want to let him out of my sight.
Then go get him.
She nods and she'll take off at a full sprint back to where he disappeared between the cars.
Okay. As you are doing this, everybody, let's see. Roll a listen check for me. We're gonna have Joe roll one too.
Good.
He can't hear anything.
And I'm not even in this scene.
Yeah, Kiana, actually go ahead and roll a listen check for May as she's kind of down
Okay.
between the cars.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Aphrodite, you are the only one that hears the telltale sound of disengaging gears as the locking mechanism between the car that you are on, the vast majority of the Orient Express, and the locomotive and the front two cars is separated. And you see the cars ahead begin to pull away as you all were going uphill. And as your momentum slows, its momentum increases, and you are watching it pull away, and standing in the back doorway is a small figure. Once again, the glow in the eyes and the mouth of Simon Meadham as you see him turn, open up the door, and walk inside. And as he's walking inside, Aphrodite, you watch as people begin to jump through the windows at intervals. You see from the rear, you see as people are both uniformed and passenger alike seem to be expelled from the train by either some force of will, but something that is decidedly not their own doing.
Okay, so you'll have to let me know if I have enough time to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Can I run and jump onto the car that he was on and hold these cars together?
You're going to Captain America this?
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's see. I am going to allow you to do this. This is obviously going to take a crit. The maneuver itself, just to get there in time, slide down between and, grab with one arm and grab with the other arm is, or however you want to grab, is a crit.
Yeah. Okay.
I will let you know that you are going to make an immediate strength roll as you are then the junction box for the Orient Express.
Yeah. Yes, I will do those things. Goodbye to my last crit.
Let's take everybody take a pause as we think about exactly. We'll look back on our lives and figure out what we're doing here. Let me see. Wait a minute, that's not it. Where are yours? That's not you. That's not you. It's telling me that. There we go. Yours are gone. Barney, you're down to 1, right? Yep. Boom. Honest Pete is down to 1. 1 and 5 for May, because May had cracked ribs last time. Alrighty. So with the expenditure of your last crit, you slide and jump, and tell us how you grab hold of. How do you become the newest car in the Orient Express?
Yeah, I think that they have probably some kind of little railing between the actual doors, and so she's just going to get a hand on one and a hand on the other with a foot on each and just kind of force of will them together. And yeah, I'll do my strength check to see if this is even possible.
Okay, yeah. You're going to have to spend 3 luck here as you need a hard or extreme to hold a train together. Would you be willing to spend those 3 luck? Okay.
Fine.
So you get in a position, and for a moment, you are the Orient Express. The same thing happens as you are in a prone position. You see Simon Meadham look at you. He slinks back into the cars, and again, you see the as people are being forced out. At this proximity, though, Aphrodite, you feel the terror that is going through them. Everybody from Joe to Barney to Pete to May, you guys can all feel the cars kind of lurch for a second. And May, make a mechanical repair roll for me, as you're probably the one that's going to pick up on this first. Yeah, the cars just got unbuckled. And you're pretty sure it's 1 car ahead of you.
I am going to try to get the car ahead of me. If I remember correctly, had something to do with locked or something because of the incidents.
Correct.
Oh, well, I'm going to take out my lock picker. And
Okay.
just pick that lock. I'll spend a crit on that, Greg.
Sure. Yep. It opens in a second. You just touch it to this thing and it whirls for a moment and the door kind of and you feel that the sliding door of the Orient opens to the smell of kind of a mixture of water, sand, like ash, everything, the elements of a fire and what was used to put out a fire.
Yeah, and she's going to limp as quickly as she can over to the other side, kind of like she'll go too fast for a second and be like, nope, breathing's hard, and then just keep kind of doing that stop go to the end of the other end.
Oh, awesome, Twilight. Who would you like to get the crit? Let me know in chat and we will assign that where it needs to go. Yep, you're able to make your way through there, and as you get to the opposite door, May, you get there and there's a window that looks out into the partition so people don't open the door and kind of like knock someone off the train that was coming into it. So as you're sitting there, you see Mimi like between the cars holding the train together. And the only reason why you know she's doing this is she's basically in an X with one foot on the front train, one foot on the back train, and both of her arms on the railing as she is holding the train together. You see every like striation, every vein in her neck and her biceps and her shoulders is just pronounced as she is using every bit of power, her considerable power that she has to hold these trains together. And yes, Twilight's Falling has just given a crit to Aphrodite to help keep the trains together, which is nice because now's the time that we are going to need that check. And I would like to do this while I also ask Barney, Pete, and Joe, by default, what would you guys like to do on the roof?
I think, can I roll like an idea check to have an idea of what's going on with the trains?
I'm going to give it to you because you guys would have seen the roofs get farther apart.
Okay.
You know, there was a definite distance between the two that was halted. You know, you can look back and say, oh, there's 2 feet behind each car, but this one's got 5 feet. So.
And you said we're going uphill, right? So in theory, if we were to be disconnected, would we then be going downhill?
The law of gravity states that yes, you would be. Now you would think, please, this is 1915. There has to be some type of fail-safes aboard this, the premier train of the world, the Orient Express. I would let you know that Greg has checked on this. There is one, but it's in the caboose, which is locked off to everybody. So that's just a little additional information for you. But you'd go backwards.
Would Barney know, being a train man, being from a train family, that if there was a failsafe, it would be in the caboose?
Yes, he would know that would be back in the day. Another crit to Aphrodite has just come in. Yes, being a train man, you would know that in the day, the caboose was almost as important as the tinder car and the locomotive, in that a lot of the navigation, a lot of the communications between different trains were done from the caboose. And so, yeah, you would know that that's the hub where if you're going to stop something, you always stop it at the front and not the middle. So if it was going backwards or there would be an additional break, it would come from that direction.
All right. He's still got the old woman in his arms, and she's not breathing anymore. Has she passed?
You don't see any breath coming out. No frozen.
He'll look over to Joe and he'll say, "Please help me get her down. Help me get her into the warm, and we have to find a way to help stop this train."
Joe, being the incredible help that he's been so far, continues in his perfect ways as he will like take some of the weight of the now past Ruby Foster and help you wherever you wish to take her.
Yeah, and Barney will call over to Pete. Pete, we got to get down. We got to get inside. It's not safe up here.
Absolutely, I agree fully. And I'll help with the Ruby as well, though probably taking the least of the weight if possible.
Make a spot hidden roll for me, Pete.
Success.
Pete, you know this woman. At least you know her eyes. In your vision of your own death, this was one of the faces in the creature that you believe killed you. She was much younger, though.
Pete would probably break the usual poker face that he has when he notices the eyes, and probably stumbles back a bit, which is horrible because we're on top of a train still, I just remembered. And sticking to good form, would immediately take a drink from the flask to try to steady himself a bit, not trying to say anything about having witnessed my own death.
Somehow the whiskey or whatever the beverage is that's coming out of the flask right now is at the perfect temperature to both warm and soothe. Give yourself 1 point of sanity back.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, thank Jack Daniels. I'm sorry, Twilight. I don't mean to make you sad. It's sort of my curse. Okay, so you guys are able to get Ruby down. Where do you take her down? Retreating in the direction that you came from, or are you advancing further ahead? Like to go down in between the two cars that you believe are separating?
I think we should keep her in our room. Because one of us has a room, like, right, was it May's room that was right here by this door?
Yeah, all of you guys, you were given this car as your kind of HQ to go about your business. So you had the 4 rooms that were in the car. You had all of them.
Yeah, he'll try to get Ruby into May's room so they can kind of set her down.
You're able to.
I think that'll take some time, right?
Yep, you guys are kind of able to place her down, and we will cut back up as we have what I'm going to assume is a successful save to make as the trains begin to somehow get even heavier, and this is as the decision is being made of what to do with Ruby Foster. Aphrodite, you have a strength check to make for me.
Yeah. Okay, I'll credit.
Okay, that takes away from one of the 2 you just received, and you have 1 remaining as that takes them down, and we're going to say that as in the back, Ruby is being taken down the ladder by Joe, Pete, and Barney. The door opens as May explodes to the front of the same car, unbeknownst to her daughter being led back into, 25, 30 yards behind her. As May, you explode out and you see Mimi sitting there, like, trying to hold this train together.
Do I see where the couplers are?
You do. They are a good 3 feet apart, however.
Okay. So upon seeing Mimi Aphrodite, she had no idea anymore. There's like a moment of like hesitation, and then says, "What can I do to fix this? Help you?"
You're the mechanic? I don't fucking know.
No, she's just like looking pretty freaking Do you think you could get these closer? If you like, just get them a bit closer, I could put them together.
Pull a bit
Don't laugh
closer.
at me.
She can't even speak. I think the strain of holding this train together, Kiana, is a little bit much. So she just kind of nods. And so I think what she's going to try and do is oh my gosh, I don't know the best way to do this. I kind of want to like put my feet behind the railing on one side and like literally pull the front of the train like toward me. So like she can get both her hands on one and like use her feet to kind of keep and use her body.
Right. She is Tobey Maguireing this. I see it. Okay, so narratively, we're dealing with two identical looking railings. You are going to, as if you were on a jungle gym, hanging from behind your knees off of one of them, like a trapeze hanging behind your knees, and then you are going to like do a curl up, like a bicep curl with the one in front of you.
Yeah.
Does that seem about right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Only in Pulp Cthulhu, everybody, would holding a train together be followed by, could you get these closer? That was one of my favorite lines in the history of anything that's ever happened on stream or around the table. And it's the greatest, most May line ever. There's no way to fix this unless, can you get them closer together? Then I can continue my observations. It's the greatest thing. I love it. I couldn't love it anymore. If you want to do this, if you want to hang and pull the front to you and the back, that's obviously going to take a crit. But it's going to take a crit coupled by another roll that has to be a harder extreme. And that's going to get it halfway there.
Is there any way I can help assist in this roll, Greg?
I don't know, May. Is there? I mean, what are you bringing to the table here? You come up with something, I will gladly lower the DC or reduce what needs to be done here.
Cracker be damned. She has her stuff with her. Mm-hmm. She would have had it. And she's going to take out some of the wiring that she had originally was going to use to repair and work on her glove. It's copper wire. Kind of like reach over as much as she can, just kind of hook it around the car and pull herself as well.
Okay, so you're using the wire to kind of loop and draw it together. Here's what I'll allow to happen. Mm-hmm. I know that you've already stated narratively you have a huge spool of this shit that you're working with and kind of carrying around, that you're using for your glove predominantly. But I will allow you to do this. I will allow you with a successful roll to loop it around in such a manner that any advancement that Aphrodite makes will keep it closed and locked. Meaning, if she draws it 6 inches, you can use the copper wiring to kind of lash the two together as you're drawing it closer and closer, not allowing it to slip further apart. It will not hold itself if Aphrodite lets go, but it'll keep it from slipping provided she continues to maintain her pull and push, or however you want to put it.
Great. I will spend a crit to do that.
Okay, so if you're spending a crit and Aphrodite's spending a crit, I just need a regular strength check here to get halfway.
Okay.
All right.
Fuck off, train. I'm the train now.
All right. Love this game. I could not love this game anymore. This is the greatest. Kiana, never before have the dice told a story quite like today. So as May is sitting there lashing this copper wiring around and pulling with her gloves, as it even starts to cut into the leather of May's gloves, as she's using this big kind of corded copper wiring to draw it close. Summer, tell us, as Aphrodite is in this position of like hanging from a trapeze and pulling with her arms, how does she reconnect the cars of the Orient Express?
Oh my God. Yeah, she as she pulls these two pieces of the train together and finally gets to a point where she can like basically straddle the two railings. She uses like her legs and her thighs to keep them together to reach down to reconnect the train with her hands.
Okay, so she's going like full Spider-Man now as she kind of like hangs and thighs it up and inverts and goes down and upside down, clips it. Somewhere J. Jonah Jameson chomps on a cigar, mad. They click together and the Orient Express is whole once more. And that is where we are going to end this episode of what I don't know. What are we? Is this Project This is Project Cronus. They're telling me it's Project Cronus. Yeah. So this is where we're going to end this session of Project Cronus because I need new notes. And no, this is absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite sessions ever with the stupid internet problem, but this is fantastic. I love it so much. I'm going around and talking to everybody. Don, how are you doing, brother? And where can we find you online?
Yeah, that was a great episode. That was, I might say, my favorite episode so far of this show.
What?
I think I just feel really kind of high when we finish this episode, every episode, because there's a lot of fun. There's always a lot of action. There's great character dynamics. I love everybody's characters, and yeah, and then there's just a lot of heart in this story too. And I'm glad that we're still moving forward on the train. I'm looking forward to seeing where we go. You can find me online on Twitter at Donathan Fry, where I will talk to you about the games that I play and the things that I do.
Fantastic, my friend. And let's jump over to Finney. Finney, how are you doing today, and where can we find you online, brother?
I am still terrified, as always, but it's good. It's good. It's such a blast, as always, on Saturday. I definitely want to say I love the headlines. Like that's just a masterwork, and the Barney moment on the roof with the lady with the jetpack, just amazing. Like, well done, Don. That was, and Greg, just awesome. Yeah. So at Flathagen on Twitter, I'm here every Saturday because Greg, you are my everything. Thanks again, everybody.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. And let's jump up to the newest train car of the Orient Express herself. Summer, how are you doing today? And where can we find you online?
Oh my God, I feel really good. That final crit, holy hell. Thank you, everybody who helped me keep the train together today. It wasn't just me. Yeah, this was incredible. I laughed and I cried and I screamed out loud multiple times. Incredible session. Yeah, every week it just feels like it's getting better and better. Yeah, you can find me online at Just a Summer Job. That's probably the best place to keep up with everything I'm doing. I tweet about everything, but yeah, I stream on a channel here _the table. We play a bunch of different games. And then, yeah, here every Saturday, crying and dying. I love it.
Fantastic. And before we get over to Kiana, I wanted to say, I never knew when making the Spidey thing in the headlines that it would be like a running gag throughout the entire episode as you continue to like up the Spidey ante throughout the whole. I'm going to hold the train together. Oh, sure. Go ahead and try. Boom. Oh, well, all right. There we go. That happened. Awesome stuff. Kiana, how are you doing? And where can we find you online?
Oh man, that was such a good episode. My heart's all over the place. Just the highs and the lows. Damn. And yep, you made me fully cry on your channel finally, Greg. Straight up full sob right there. But god damn it.
Sorry.
What I signed up for is what's the amazing stuff, the heart of the story that brings everything together. And I cannot wait for next week to see what happens next. Yeah, Crying Dying is the tagline for the channel. Because that's what we do every single week. But until next time, you guys can find me over on Twitter at KillerS. Best way to figure out what I am doing, because I am all over the internet, playing role-playing games almost every day of the week. It's a bit of a turnover with the new season, so definitely keep up to see what I am up to coming up in the fall. A lot of really cool stuff. And yeah, here every week playing May, who, god damn it, crackers be damned, though, still be as May as I can and pull the goddamn train together.
Awesome stuff. As for me, I absolutely loved this episode. The last couple have not. I knew that they could conceivably take this route. I didn't think it would be in the same frame. Actually thought a couple things would be switched, but I love so much more how this kind of bled from one crisis to the next crisis to the next crisis. Because as all of us that played Call of Cthulhu before know, it's a whole lot of talking and investigation, and then it's just madness and things, trains coming apart and things like that. You guys are the best. Great, amazing cast and crew that play off each other's strengths so well. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. What's next for the channel? We are off until next Friday. Project Athena will not be on tomorrow night, as it is my son's 12th birthday. Yay! So we are going out to eat, and he has requested that he and his sister play D&D with miniatures and a full table setup. So by God, that is what I am doing tomorrow, and I could not be happier to do so. But we will be back on the channel next Friday from 12 to 2 for a little Conan action. And then, of course, we will be back. Follow me on Twitter for this here Project Cronus, which you can find in this time slot. A couple great things coming to the channel in the fall. Please look forward. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Somebody in this call. And then we will be getting ready to do these fun things with you all. Chat, you're fantastic. I love your passion. I love everything that you guys bring to both the YouTube community, the Twitch community, the Twitter community. We are a small community here doing these Pulp Cthulhu shows, but by God, are you guys passionate, and it fuels me, and I'm sure it fuels everybody else. It is the absolute best to see people invested in the characters that these brilliant people have created and that I constantly try to ruin. It's the best. These people are the best. Please join us again. We will see you soon. Thank you for putting up with my internet issues. At some point, the old man will get it, and when he does, there will be much singing and rejoicing. Until then, take care of yourselves, everybody.